Okay, so this one is the most difficult one, I think, in the booklet. Uh, you work at a farm. You work at a farm that has 25 horses, and you need to find the three horses which are fastest. You do not have a watch, but you have a racetrack which allows you to race five horses at maximum. You do not have a watch. Data we have is the finishing positions of the horses after each race. Let's understand the question. It says we don't have a watch, we don't have any way of measuring the time. So all we know is maybe horse A finished first, horse B finished second, horse C finished third, horse D finished fourth, blah blah blah. Now, the one interesting thing about this problem, it assumes kind of like the horses are robotic. So we are assuming that these horses will always, if you race them as many times as possible, they will always finish in the same order. There will be no external factors which will affect the horses, which would be the case for normal athletes or horses, right? Like on a certain day, you might perform worse than on another day, but in this case, that won't happen. So we want to find the minimum number of horses, sorry, minimum number of races required to identify the three fastest horses. So the first thing we do is divide them in groups of five, right? This is the obvious one. You race five at a time. You finish five races, and these five races will have. So you can label the race as maybe race A, race B, race C, race D, race E, and then you have some horse in group A which finished first. A1 maybe. Maybe this one was B1, this was C1, this was D1, this was E1. So this is the race, and this is the fastest horse in that particular race. So we know that these five are the fastest in their group. Now we don't know which of them is fastest among themselves. So naturally, the next race will be these five. So you race A1, B1, C1, D1, E1. Now, as you can see that from this, we will get the order of the fastest five according to our previous races. Now, whichever first finishes first here, maybe if it's, let's say, let's not go A1 because it's obvious, but let's say C1 finished first. This would mean that C1 is the fastest horse. And this is where the part becomes tricky because now you might be tempted to assume that if it's C1, B1, let's say D1, A1, and then E1, you might be tempted to say these three, your top three, but that's not the case. We only know C1 is the fastest horse. What happens next is we do not know if B1 is faster than C2, for example. And you can easily think of it this way, where if you have five classes and each class has the one with the highest marks. Maybe in class A, someone got 95, and the second best in class A got 92. In class B, the best might have gotten 88. Now this guy is the best in class B, but he's not better than the second best in class A. So we do need another race to figure out the. So we already know that C1 is the fastest horse we have. Now for second and third, what we have is if we arrange horses in order of, let's say C1, let's keep that order. We made D1, A1, and then E1, right? And then there is E2, E3, E4, E5, A1, A4, A5, this one, 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 and now this is our king. Now we need the second one, but what we have seen is that this horse here could potentially be faster than this horse. So C2, therefore it could be faster than this. In fact, even C3 could be faster than this because this 3 could very well be your top 3. Now, similarly, in this case, P2 here could be faster than D1 because this could be your top 3 C1, B1, D2. And A1, E1, they're already fourth, right? So we don't need this, which means everyone here is very slow. So these ones we don't need them. The same logic you can apply here, this one and this one, because they already finished fourth in this race. So they cannot be in the top 3 anyway. In with these case, this case also, this case also, this case also, this case also, and this case also. Now P3 would also be 1, 2, 3, 4. So P3 would also be fourth. So this person cannot be, this horse rather cannot be third, and this one also cannot be third. So your final race would involve the second horse and the third horse from the group of your fastest horse, the second fastest horse in the group of your second best horse, and the third horse. So you have C3, C2, B2, D1, and I forgot one, P1. So you raise these 5, and the top 2 here will be second and third.